Live
Camera.
action! Another day, another chance to survive. Hello, hello, mabuhay, and welcome to JXPJ Podcast. And welcome back to the new episodes of our podcast. This is Jessa. A lot of time has passed, a lot has happened, and a lot has changed. But let's talk about and look back at what happened in the past together with Sabiera,
Hello everyone! It's nice to be here again.
Janela,
Hi! Excited to talk about the past? Oops, wag nang babalikan. No, I'm just kidding.
Gian,
Hola, people of the Philippines, happy to be part of this conversation.
and Rich.
Hey, I'm looking forward to this discussion.
Okay, thank you. Samahan niyo kaming alamin at tuklasin ang mga nangyari at itinalagang history of milestone sa bansang Pilipinas. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into it.
Guys, do you know what happened during the pre-colonial period? I share some trivia about it. Before, the Philippines attained complete independence in 1946. The country's education system was patterned on the system of Spain and the United States countries which colonized and governed by the country for more than 300 years. However, after independence, the country's educational system has constantly undergone reform.
Yeah, it's right. And during the pre-colonial period, most children were provided with solely vocational training, which was supervised by parents, tribal tutors, or those assigned for specific, specialized roles within their communities. For example, the Babaylan.
Very well said, I agree with that. And did you know that there are key characteristics of pre-colonial? The first one is informal and unstructured. Education was not conducted in formal institutions, but through observation, imitation, and hands-on experience within the family and community.
Akala nyo tapos na? Wait, there's more. The vocational and practical focus are also part of characteristic of pre-colonial period. Its emphasis was on acquiring skills necessary for daily life, such as fishing, farming, weaving, and other vocational training for both men and women. Oral tradition in the cultural heritage, beliefs, and values were passed down through stories, songs, poems, and dances by an oral tradition.
Oh wow! Pre-colonial period is very helpful in life and culture of Filipinos before Spanish colonization. And now, let's talk about the Spanish period. Join me in finding out what the Spanish period really helped in the Philippines.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. Education shapes who we are as a nation.
Oh, as a student, I can say it's powerful to know where our system came from.
Yes, because honestly, I'll always wonder why is our education system the way it is today.
Then, let's find out together, Sabiera. Take us way back pre-Magellantic times.
You know, Gian, before the Spaniard arrived, education in the Philippines was totally different. It was informal and unstructured. Parents and tribal tutors taught kids practical skills, hunting, fishing, farming, and household chores. More vocational, less academic.
Right. No reading, writing, arithmetic, or the famous 3 R's yet. Just survivor and life skills.
So, like, school was basically life is the classroom?
Exactly. But then came the Spaniards and that changed everything.
Correct, Jessa. During Spanish colonization, tribal tutors were replaced by missionaries. Education became religion-oriented.
The focus was Christianization. The church played the biggest role in teaching.
So, only those close to the church or elite had a real access?
Yes, but in 1863, the educational decree was passed. It required everyone to have at least one primary school for boys and one for girls, plus a normal school for male teacher under the GISO.
Sounds good on paper. But wasn't it still limited?
Very limited. Education was considered inadequate and mostly served the interests of the colonizers.
Fast forward to 1898, the Americans defeated Spain. What happened then?
Ginaldo's revolutionary government came in. At first, schools were closed, but soon reopened on August 29, 1898. They even founded institutions like the Burgos Institute, the Military Academy of Malolos, and the Literacy University of the Philippines.
And the Malala's constitution established free and compulsory elementary education, a first in our history.
That's quite impressive. Imagine if it had lasted longer.
True, but story had other flaws.
Yeah, great. Pre-colonial and Spanish period have different big contribution to Philippines, especially when it comes to education. But American period is another one. Honestly, it was amazing to know one of the biggest turning points in that period. Just like when the Americans introduced the public school system, which made education free, open, and secular. For the first time, ordinary Filipinos, not just the rich, could study. That alone was a game changer.
True, and aside from opening school, they also expanded the curriculum. Students didn't just learn religion or basic literacy anymore. Now they had science, geography, math, and reading. It gave Filipinos a more complete education and raised literacy all over the country. And probably the most lasting influence was the use of English as the medium of instruction. It connected Filipinos to global knowledge and opportunities. Until today, English is still one of our strengths in education, government, and even work in abroad.
Yeah, and speaking of teachers, the Thomsites play a huge role. They came in 1901 as the first American teachers. Their mission was not only to teach Filipino kids, but also to train local teachers, and that's how the system kept growing and improving.
And to support that, the Americans built normal schools for teacher training and founded the University of the Philippines in 1908. Plus, their curriculum was practical. Students learned farming, trade, and health, not just academics. It made education more useful for real life.
So, if we put it all together, the American period gave us public schools, English instruction, the Thomsites, youth and teacher training, plus a modern curriculum. Those reforms are the backbone of the educational system we will have today.
So, after the Americans, the Philippines finally gained independence in 1946. This meant education was no longer directed by colonizers. It was now in the hands of Filipinos. The post-colonial period became all about nation building through education.
Exactly. The government started creating its own education laws and reforms to fill Filipino needs. One of the first moves was making sure education strengthened nationalism and civic consciousness. For example, school required courses about the Philippine Constitution and national history.
Buka dyan, sis. Plus, more schools and universities were established, both public and private. Access to education continued to grow, not just in cities but also in rural areas. Programs like free public elementary and high school education were gradually implemented to reach more Filipinos.
And in the recent decades, reform kept coming, from the bilingual education policy to the K-12 program introduced in 2013. Post-colonial education has been about adapting to modern challenge, making sure Filipinos are prepared for both local and global opportunities.
So to wrap it up, if the American period gave us the foundation of the modern school system, the post-colonial period built on that foundation to shape an education that's proudly Filipino, while still connected to the world, and that's the journey of the Philippine education up to date.
That's a wrap for this episode. Thanks, Tim, and thank you to our listener for joining us. Don't forget to follow, share, and tune in the next time as we explore more about our nation past and future.